打 story 都唔同喺度玩。
我就賺100蚊先啦。
就買多張卡。
Google 懶係 smooth 咁，多咗好撚多提示。呢樣又提下你，嗰樣又提下你。嗰啲諗法。
But the catches are too many. Archie goes down to Maple after a realm walk. There's another kill. The double picked up. Flashwell's going to take him down, complete the ace, and take down the Nexus. Flashwell's finally on the board here, and MSI.
加2倍速啊！可以加出啲嘢。同埋啲入場啊！
真啦，咁心谷嘅。
都係賺100蚊啫。日本可以叫打你咩？
而家冇晒。
Chinese peace 阿貴。
冇嘢，揾唔到張卡。
阿貴
入場都要時間㗎嘛。
要嘅咩？
龍的啊，龍的要16張呢段。
我有佢啱有平玩啫，用得啲世界都唔貴，嗰啲補卡都唔貴。
最美到不可最大努力可以引我到入舊，真不想家裏口到闊大裂口，自誰可別出深海與山丘，切一半山給你，切一半海給我，有些愛無人願收，這段情來到這裏，回頭是一雙手求。上半生抽一個新招，繼續做人，回望每一早歸家腳印，沒想到護照要蓋滿身的印，曾以為有家就是安穩，當天氣改變世道人生，要 start the wind 再溫馨，幽暗似8月城牆外面曠野那天空不算眼。自願流落遠方，找一塊地可親吻，也好過沿門道留在絕情地方等。舊風景過分要受舊傷好見仍不忍。
有歌聽過嘅嘛？啱啱終於冇瞄到你個台。 撚串喎，
打呢隻
Welcome back
咁嘅，
to 2017
睇唔到
a victory over the decline Marines, and I'm joined by Carson. I first want to ask you about the challenges of playing rather versus a team like
死能夠
how
見
you
得
managed
特
to
色。
overcome them in that
有得
last
睇噶嘛？
比赛的胜利。那对上 Marine 这种队伍，你们有遇到什么困难呢？然后你们怎么去克服？
节奏比较快，然后进攻意识非常强，他们在前期打出有巨大的优勢。
嚇？你咁出聲？咁諗 Zombie Party 你睇俾邊個？你睇 Miracle？
出隻。
Yeah, but you guys did manage to overcome it and book that first victory yesterday. Wasn't the greatest start, even though there's a lot of hype on the Flash Wolf. So what do you think went wrong on day one, and what are you looking forward to
我以為你第一下就諗到添。
大家对于闪亮在这次比赛的期望非常高，但是
你蝕咯，
弊啊
遇到
你！
什么样的困难呢？那接下来会怎么样克服？
因为昨天我们
一張跳 cos
遇到一些小挫折，就是
你
因为我们
揾咗
第一
幾多張？
場我们上路 AND 被注的有点惨，然后
5張定6
在中期
張？
团战拿到了优势，但是没有把这个优势扩大下去。
落門
第二
嘅係
場就是
9張。
带着巨大的优勢，但是
跳嗰時候
把龍處理得
有3張2分，然之後3張3分手啊嘛。
最後我們被他們的艾文凱特琳逆轉。
我知道常用嘅係有3張，之後你入晒咪9張，最基本要有9張。
咁啊係啊，好副嘢。你玩龍，你嗰幾張都冇，真係唔使玩。
最 key 張5分你嗯？
Alright, well, I'll be looking
最
forward to
key 嗰
it.
張
Thank you
5分，
very much, Carson.
即係
How old do you
水龍
guys
女
score in
有
this match?
3張。 你其他嘢可以冇，但係你水龍女係一定要有。佢係 key 中之 key。你玩龍，你抽到兩張水龍女就可以手，即係簡單啲嚟講。其他翻譯
進化先多一粒，先轉一套。
So there are ways to victory for Team WE, but the prediction is G2 over here. Papa Keely, what's your call? I'm going to keep it with G2.
Well, that's
Such a
really
really difficult one. It's really one of the closest of the tournament so far. Both teams have been 1-1, so both teams have been kind of up and down. I actually looked at their last games to get kind of most of the information for me. G2 against Flash Wolves, WE against TSM. Both of them are giving up a lot in the early game. Both of them trying to play it slow and get to the late game. G2 was off the back of, okay, we've got a lot of shields, and we got Sven, who's been in rare form in this tournament. He's been a superstar so
龍明
far.
明咁撚多解場卡，你唔係一張都抽唔到。
But especially in the second game, all the
我全部抽晒啲高 cost 出嚟而家。
is certainly in
咁你需要調節翻。
why they were giving up the
係啊，佢好 follow 緊啊！你快啲要佢。
957 got way behind, and it felt like they just had no way to get back into the game. They weren't really fully into late game. They just kind of limping into late game. So I feel like
最基就係7分嗰張全場打死。
on the whole more solid.
係嘛？屌！我試過俾人連清3王，我撲你個街！屌我成台 C， 我爆完三次之後，我已經冇力可以再玩落去。佢3張上撚晒手。
I think it hinges on the fact that we're not going to see a Fled or Fizz at the top of the lineup. I think G2 is going to narrow it more towards like a Galio or a Shin, some sort of tank. So because of this, I think I'm going to also give it to G2. It's really tough for me. This is my featured matchup of the day. But ultimately, Team WE domestically, they've never faced a team like this. This very tempered aggression. And then as you start going down the lineup, pound for pound the roster, if these two teams are kind of playing similar style in a sense where they'll kind of sit back and look for these advantages where they can exploit weaknesses. I think Perks is playing better than GA, and Sven is playing better than Mystic. I think Mystic's good, but Sven is just out of the form right now. It sways more to
You're a solid player. You get to disagree about anything. If you notice my prediction, I predicted G2, but I talked only about I appreciate that, Kobe. Thank you very much. Well, the players are just about ready. Time now to finish up the cap. Get us onto the ring. Before we get in game, let's have a look at at the line. We're going to make it quick here. And the blue end of the room, it's G2 Esports.
你今次起到啦，
Look at our my alpha game here. In the
今
top
次
lane
起到
is
咩嘢？
expect jungle trick mid perks, but Sven support Mithy and coach Youngbuck.
Yeah, since I already know those guys, I guess I'll try something else here. Team WE is setting up on the red side. Top is 957, juggled on the Xie in the mid lane. Mystic and Ben hoping to beat the best bot lane in the west, as they were called at a time. And they're looking to do that under the guiding line, guidance from home.
Absolutely, and I think the bottom lane description is accurate right now. As Ben and Mithy have been so dominant for about a year and a half, I'd say, all as well as early on in this tournament. But the game is about much more than that. We've seen so little of this team on this stage. Both teams having some good and some bad yesterday. Even G2, who was 1-1, now 7,000 gold in the one win in the win column. So neither of these teams have felt solid, and starting 2-1 means so much.
Yeah. G2 Esports felt kind of good after yesterday. A long game against the SKT, ending the game the day about a 1-1, but I feel like they should straight up lost that
你有
game.
China 玩講，
They get back into their old style where passive is okay. There was too much of that direction.
Yeah, and their transgressions are forgotten. Everyone on the analyst desk going for the sun right there. Team WE did have that fast game. I'm really curious to see what type of draft phase we get.
I wonder if they're going back to technically expected the big bad, because that's what they did against SKT. When they played teams with a similar style where not too much goes to the top side and they don't really like playing on heavy, maybe they expect a little bit of setup to the match.
仲玩縮喎，
Yeah, and what's interesting as well, if I look
所以好撚勁喎，其實 short 都係 T1，我見啲比賽，我見前兩個比賽係贏嗰條係大 shadow。
但係我前面都係一個 system 單揸官。
This is actually super interesting. Very fast pick and ban here. Double jungles gone out. I wonder if they go for first pick Graves. Then they may break the tradition that is first pick.
6-1嗰張好似會識人嚟，
can't be attacked。
This is a very important game for these two teams as well. It's important to remember. These two teams are relatively close to each other already, so it kind of puts you up above a team that's close to you. And there's Karma.
Because of the karma ban, they have to pick blue and they lose the Graves. They like
都有投資喎。
Yeah, so adaptive with that final ban for Team WE.
我想合卡唔夠齊合金卡都唔夠齊。
啊！未起手啦，未起手啦。
Because of that reaction,
4隻 animation。
即刻起手啦！我哋都1萬入，1萬我哋合3張。
so I actually don't agree with that final ban since WE is the type of team that has such a good style, but that's been running right.
Play the champion fine, but his arrows are not hitting their marks. I don't think he's trying too much. He's slow on the
唔啱你佢會着，即係無啱無私啦，無啱無私。
I think phase 1 champion is getting banned out.
主教
And actually, oh yeah, locked in with these two. That's the Karma plus jungle here. Otherwise,
or they must have a niche box where they not expect them to rumble to make it. Yeah, G2 definitely switching up.
驚佢個 airline force
Is a hyper carry. You expect this game to go fairly.
幾多 cost 啲？
Also, look at the
323
Yeah, he's not laning against
貴啊！
對6個 shadow。
呢啲唔係 cost 咯。
唔夠分㗎，你咁多。
我嗰副唔會夠，但係你嗰副 head 就有會咯。
It's always a joy to watch G2 Esports. Just any team that's met is great.
I like this a lot. I like the chance for that reason. They're saying, Trick, we trust you. Even if you get a few more pens thrown at you, we're confident you can play. Maybe even a surprise pick here. But again, making sure they play to their strength. It's the hands that keep coming. But more particularly WE, they knew they had to take it now. But now the jungle band starts. There's Rengar and Zyra on the opposite side for G2.
G2 is laning support dominance in the bottom lane, maybe even Malzahar. They get rid of next. This has to be Kha'Zix right here on the other side.
Yeah, because that gets rid of. We've essentially moved down. That's 5 jungle bans as well as a jungle pick. So you're down to your 7th jungler on your tier list. Maybe Trick has something like Warwick.
He has played Rumble and one game of Warwick as well, I do believe. He can definitely play
哇！
that.
將615落
There's
廢
the fresh ban actually instead of something like the Malzahar.
將條
We'll
路
see if WE maybe want to take some sort of
最
support
多
here.
都
Perhaps could
615
flex this Lulu as well, so WE could lose another support, but
Storm
pretty unlikely.
Yeah, Malzahar goes down in value because you're already going to build a QSS for the Ashe anyways, and you have the defensive support. That's it. Thresh gives you more variance in kind of gameplay, flash play, Mad Life performances on hook, Faker Smurfs on support. That's what you want to avoid with the Thresh. Give them standard pick that is at least
Nunu, they only locked it in! It's Nunu! I thought they were joking! Well, there's the Lulu, there's the one. Draft done for G2.
Yeah, and they have the LeBlanc as a split push threat, so they're not all about the centerfold of the Kog'Maw, but I love the Nunu coming in this situation.
Alright, go ahead, Chad. Why do you like Nunu? He's good.
Really, this is the patch with the changes. Yes, massive. So if you're able to get enough auto attacks, and you do get essentially a rank 2 ult at level 6, but more so, he is a safe jungler who can control a lot of the game. It's a little tricky against Graves because Graves clears so quickly, but as far as just being able to protect the Kog'Maw, it's perfect.
Yeah, super fascinating. We also have to look at the reaction here, though, into this LeBlanc. Cassidon has seen a couple quality of life changes that they do, as well as
C'est真勁嚟啫，有一啲真心嘅。
佢係 mid range hit 比較，但係你玩 Echo 齊兩款，
我將5 cost 條費係 legendary，
好撚多 legendary 㗎 Jack，唔知點解，全部先揾到。
中咗嘅，但係未有3張咁 Q 多咯。
你要砌係乜？砌邊個張先？
佢嗰張係最難 key
係嘛？你其他嘢都可以合。
If Sven can escape the initial burst of engage, he can walk his way out of these fights with the protection to single-handedly kite his way out towards victory. However, there is so much hard engagement. Let going into one side, Cassidon on another side, maybe an Ash Shadow on the floor, Black Malzahar. Sven dies, a lot of damage goes down to him.
Yeah, just a lot of potential here. WE, they are going to have to play, I think, a bit more aggressive in this situation. We talk about 20% of their games where Connie just goes off and the team can follow. They're going to need to dig back into that 20% of going to try and tech on what is a terrifying scaling problem.
嗰啲豬又仆街啦， 2分3分都有條費，2分冇條費，就係卡上8分嘅話。
Feels like it because they still get the shielding support. Whether or not that was the plan beforehand, all the jungler bans fall through, but they still get something that is additive towards their team composition if it is almost never played.
Yeah, as a total unbiased European, however, I'm a little scared for the combination of Shen in the fast that has shown a lot of tankiness, but too little more especially more damage, and the fact that LeBlanc can foul off. If it's like a Moriana that scales a little better and does damage to it, or even a Sidra that has LeBlanc is
and I like this because we have such a difference between the team competition. Because W's comp is actually not what they'll say.
巴哈要留幾多條？
Can scale pretty well, and the play threat of those two is massive. So both teams have very clear strategies. Double TP on both sides to try and match the split pushing in this game.
Everyone's out for the rift here for this game. Really interesting stuff to start off already, and we're barely even into the tournament. Having a dance in the blood of play.
I actually hate that skin.
最多都係
Ben has doing it to tilt the opponent.
冇應該
yeah,
冇
definitely
三。
mental warfare.
巴係884嗰條，
We need to watch this
我得2條啫嘛。
easy. Kog'Maw is very centered around
打一個
the
一定
W.
會打
It's
二
up, you win. If it's down,
見過最多係打二咯。
you really need to step
打二
forward and
卡
backward
街啦
in that laning phase. And Ash can always poke you when you're
咁你有啲可以 discard 跌咗佢噶嘛？
So trick. Very curious to see how Lulu's going
就算上手
to
咯。
jungle route.
discuss 佢最低 cost 嗰啲嘅喎。
有 dis 最高。
Trick, maybe predictably, is on the blue button.
Yeah, one unfortunate
I like this
complaint
kind of
is he doesn't start very well on the Raptors, where a lot of other junglers can start. Grace does start well on the Raptors, but when you have a Malzahar, you want to take advantage of the Voidling Cole. Condi killers that so fast, and since he did have the ward, he can actually do to Nunu what Nunu would like to do to opponents.
Look at it, both teams seem to be ready for the reaction.
Now the vertical jump,
Yeah,
likely.
because the ward's been placed already. I'm not sure if we actually saw that ward placed. It'd be good, but his opponents have knowledge of restart.
我見嗰張6分嗰張 test 能夠超咧打3。
咩啊 ？Death 勁喎，
好撚勁打，係呢個係應該打3，
好多都打3。
你正常都係打3。喂，你滿鬼輸，你唔係打2或者3嘅，你冇啲。
咁錯嘅。
絕對唔啱你打咁滯。
做咩 key 㗎
？4分嗰張都有人打嘅。
Mid-range 幫冇
打1。因為你 mid-range 4分冇俾我出啫。
4分可以進化啦，你咁樣4分。
但係你搶進化咯，其實
佢話 Mid-range 都唔搶進化，咁咩搶進化？佢冇啲進化完冇諗乜機效過去靠，係得嗰張4分進完打2再加2攻。但係佢呢副 deck 佢4分等本書佢係要搏中無妖咯，但係佢無妖咁會唔多。佢如果搏中無妖得
4分真係勁在嗰張飛石卡。
佢如果中骨嘅話，佢喊出嚟咯。中骨根本冇撚用，佢最有用都係中無妖。但係你 Mid-range 你無妖你冇理由打得多。
That's the story for the side lanes. Getting pushed in and trying to stay on even CS. Expect is doing it much better than the bottom lane. However, they had an early visit from many Graves that can really throw.
呢張好撚廢咯，我一定唔打。
唔係 Key 卡嚟㗎，如果你玩呢啲嘅話係 Key 卡嚟，即係如果你玩維賢嘅話，
好撚垃圾。
如果玩維賢嘅話，呢張好撚勁㗎。
我維賢嘅話，我點解唔維賢多兩隻
？4-1咯。
呢啲卡你唔使照出嚟㗎，你本書你拉出嚟啫，你扭蛋啫嘛，同埋。
咁嗰款扭蛋4零分 deck 佢。
唔係你唔玩扭蛋，你都可以落書㗎。
And there it is. And we were again at an international tournament where G2 have a plan, a late game idea of what they want to do, but things go horribly wrong in the early game, and they have shown in the past that they do not adapt well to losing these turrets early game at international tournaments.
He's got sums, isn't going to have to use them. It takes a boatload of damage. The 3 members of Waterley, and that turret is low. That actually might die. Where's the Davis? Not quite there in time.
Essentially, just tank for the turret right there. He was trying to distract Team WE so his turret wouldn't fall. He does hold for now, and that prevents absolute disaster, but it's still quite bad for G2.
佢打 story 送嗰張，
你話張照鬼出嚟嗰張？個 Necro Assassin。
buff 完打對面2 damage 再加 buff 自己。
係咪 Necro Assassin？送嘅就係送 Playful 同埋 Assassin， 其他唔係送嘅咯。4分1佢應該入咗咯，佢都唔使進化嗰隻，佢就咁出場就已經有效啦。出場炸兩血之後北俾隻阿蘭。
邊度4分1？
你落咗啦，如果你下邊揾唔到嘅話。
見到啦，4分1
嚇見到
啦，隻女武神啊嘛，隻 Opera 啊。
呢隻嘅落2啦，學生會卡你。
一定落3都
學生會卡㗎，會卡㗎。最緊要佢4-5分嗰啲卡比較多，所以佢再落嘅話會冇咩有做，咪會太多嘢做。
你5分得張 legend 啫嘛，有咩卡
？4-5佢咁樣呢度已經8張，佢出得幾多張？
而家先係2張。
LeBlanc uses the push, and it's honestly just a 5-man party in the bottom lane.
That is the hope, and that's also what can hopefully then keep Team WE
呢張如果你唔係打圍型
This
嘅，
very
必
much
要
looks like the type of
將
WE competition we saw in
你
Game
依
1
家呢
versus Flash
你
Wolves,
依家點
not
解呢
the
張？
more passive everyone range competition we got to see
你啱啱落3個
against
張。
TSM. So WE
3
trying
個
to
張
play in
搭
multiple
URD 打
different
嘅，
styles, and Condi on the forefront right now again in
你淨係得呢個 combo 啦
see if
喂
the control work.
Gonna get caught maybe a bit at the bottom lane, still pushing so nicely that I don't know if it can do too much.
Yeah, the question is caught by what? Because they have push in that bottom lane, and he can just now contest this red buff with a lot of fearlessness. He has the support of his Malzahar most likely.
I don't know if Cassidy's going to get there quick enough as Van is going to move himself out of the way. Turret goes down, 6-8 to take it, and now Sven
Get all these up.
exhausted. Maybe a little too much, but Sanjay said Mystic cuts into the enemy team. Condi not there in time. Sven gets the kill. The WE not done yet. Here's 957, but Condi already too low, goes down as well.
呢隻
And
其實
now
1分
957's got a
2
flash. Does get polymorphed over the wall, but now Perk's
Yeah.
also looking for a pickoff. He's actually
King
going
really
to meet
should pass
Cassidy
up.
here, so he'll back
Oh,
away.
wow,
But
good
G2,
fire.
great collapse there.
And that fight was a mess overall because it is all about the red
你如果
buff,
唔
but
係
they
要
ended
拉
up
衰
getting
嘅話，
kind
你
of caught down bottom,
隻
and
狗㗎嘛，因
G2 was
為
way quicker to the party.
And this is
你要
why
佢
if you're
㗎嘛。
playing Karma, put at least 1 point in
Well,
lead.
you
So
just
many
got
Karma
some,
players
just
trying
some
to min-max and avoid that ability at all costs.
Đúng rồi,
It
mà
actually was
chỉ là
the
em đại
catalyst that's normal to
Tại-
do before.
tại để-
When you
để
want to
được
play
phân-
Karma lanes,
được
you
phân-
call it
được
each
phân
way
để làm
first.
sao.
You say you go
你
on
你
that
打
lane,
你打 Mix
guys
你
slow
都
down
唔
and
使食
you go all
咁
in,
食
and now we
食
have
咁
Shen
重
also
啲絲㗎。
jumping in. Trick was doing a great job even to
So
use
you
some help
joke
on the top side of
it.
the play there.
You can't
And then
check.
Sven, he doesn't panic flash.
So you
He
joke
flashes
it.
just
企
as
場咪
Quick
落骨
Fan
咯。
gets out, survives, but is
唔打咁
continuously
多啦。
doing damage. Kobe was talking
個
about it
個重
yesterday.
個重點係你
One time
Necroman 嘅需求
fights
其實唔
always
係咁
contributing
大，
to the damage in the
所
fights.
Yeah,
所以你隻
and
狗係
those
唔使落得
that
咁
chose
癲。
in that fight were very poor because they had stronger members, so if they all focus, then they would have been able to win.
你同我比，你絕
For
對唔
that
大
move,
咯
they。still have a tremendous amount of map pressure. Already taken the bot turret, they're so quick to move up top.
It's a really nice translation actually from Team WE, and they will
你
be
有
able to
邊
get
隻要
this
Necromancer 而
stacking
家？
up a very big
除
wave.
咗啲
So
六 cost 同埋七 cost spell 之外，
despite losing the last
你
two fights,
你去到7分嗰陣，你電都有啦嘛。你再慢都有啦。
唔夠用㗎，
And Sven's arc to becoming a superhero
真係唔
同埋你
夠。
隻同埋你隻鬼公子咧，你係咪打3嘅？
has yet to die in this tournament.
3-3-1-1
Mid-range 會唔會打鬼公子？
If they win, the only route
Mid-range
is for
係可以
him
打
right
鬼公子
now.
因為
He
公司
has
打
to
鬼
pull
公
them
子
from
有
behind.
兩隻
So
3-1-1
not
嘅
the
喎，
ideal
係
way to play, but he
俾
has
維
been
然
the
隊
most
友嗰隻
aggressive
係
guy
鬼
you
咯
want to。be
係啊，
able to
全
back up
全係
with
維
Sven
型
on
嗰隻
top.。
我見好多 dead 都係可以打。
That guy was
我
pretty
真係
good.
試過。
Good flash from Perks. Misses the arrow there from Mystic. But a nice little angle. Doesn't quite clip expect
我都
either.
抉擇
Good
到
enough
我
flash.
玩
That's
主
the
教
only
定同埋
case where I can
索羅
advocate
華，
flashing in the wall is okay. By first.
父親的抉擇。
They'll drop on a rope. Will be spec back in, but defenders look particularly bothered by this teammate up for the Kled. Chainvest Balmy Cinder, so almost up with a Sunfire Cape, but FF7 not taking over the game just yet.
I'm quite perplexed here by the very early QSS by Perks in the Cassidy matchup. I feel like he's so scared of Blanc in fights. He's basically from
Malzahar.
from Malzahar in fights. Great because he's LeBlanc. Because I think he might just want to be like a nuisance, going in and out, but being scared of being silenced, and then sees.
你而家有咩？
His
你而家有
threat
咩
is
legend？
non-existent with the QSS. I mean,
Legend
Surprise!
冇乜
People
都
do
冇
like
嘅。
building QSS to avoid Malzahar, but I feel like Ben
LeeSin
has
隻㗎。
bigger fish to fry against
試
a
下
team that
講
dogs
得
include
好啲咯。
That'll be here.
個問題就係我都唔識點同你講，
Interestingly, like, Mystic is up in the top lane
但係你又要唔
because
識
they're
喎，
trying to keep
咁
Sven away
咁
from
點
the
咧？
farm that will let the Social Strike most likely go over.
個問題就係我有2嗰張 legend 咧係唔係太 key 嘅，即係唔係太主軸嘅喺個 slot 入邊。
我覺得
This is something W do.
但係我主教嗰邊咧 key 就 key 啦，
And they lose the rest of the
但係啲餡就好撚少
Need to，
同埋第一
capitalize
張
on it and punish it very hard. Mystic is getting so much free
呢個
farm.
就係個位啦。
Free farming on side lane as AD carry.
主教係食高分嗰兩張 legend 嘅，
主教係食張 Aegis 咯，
同埋主教有兩個向性，可以玩啲棋仔。
咪就係糾結緊嘅時候。因為呢一抽就可以起手㗎啦，就繼續抽落去。4張 animator 我都覺得我已經用緊盡晒啲運氣啦。我個抄 demo 人 cut 咗啊！
WWE has taken down both
Flash
side
咗好
lanes.
耐啦，好耐都撳咗
Perks is
佢。
sitting in the mid lane, so there's very few
連
places
個
for
連個 team 都唔
Cog
想俾我
to
插
farm.
掉。
74 CS Cog at 12 minutes. Not exactly the rate at which you would like to farm for Sven, who's one of the highest CS per minute players in the world. So at this point, WWE need to continue to pressure those side lanes, get the wards,
我
and
打
then
Strawberry 冇打到掉咗隻巴下出嚟。
keep Sven down.
Strawberry 咩鳩做到啦
WWE, but G2, we'll see if they play the requisite amount of safety. Looks like WWE aren't going to overcommit for it. Mystic going to stay in fog of war for a potential arrow, but at least they've moved their AD carry towards this mid lane. G2 already know this. They've moved him there, Cogmore there for the safe farm, and WWE kind of doing the right thing on the map.
咪主教你係有邊張嘢
？A 嘅同埋尖得咯。98888。
85嗰張好撚勁。
Left or right, put deep vision, go to the silence,
誒
eventually roll it towards the tier 2 turret, or
9988
set up like a
kilo。
dive in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for WWE to set up a dive because that's like the natural thing. Looking at the damage turns
ปั๊
on
唔
G2,
係打隊
they're
友，你
mostly
你
non-existent.
你
You've
988
got
係自己
2SS
自己企場。
LeBlanc and a Kog'Maw who's level 7
你應該988都唔識死。
Get the pressure in the side lanes, and then 5-man dives Ven in the mid lane. That's how they break
將
this game.
將 A 嘅如果出到嘅，你都好難輸。
但其實你好撚難打到佢，好撚難打到佢9分咯而家。主教嘅話係嘅。你前期已經慢到撲街咯，你係靠嗰張佢俾你嗰張進化嘅周人怪嗰張彈出嚟。
我打 shadow 嘅都可以打。而家你好。但我 banish 比較多。
overall pressure lost, especially because Mystic is single-handedly holding 2 people in that mid lane. So 957 able to get
我留住呢個抽。 決定住，唉，未諗到。啲多餘夠正抽，點解多餘得？
Oh, okay. I thought it was in the range. Mid B doesn't have one. It's a disaster. They're going to have to continue playing back here for a little while longer. And Mystic does have that completed play. The other issue kind of his man is that even if he has gold, he's not really got a chance to back.
And even in terms of pressure, it's actually quite good to just place a ward in somebody's vision sometimes. Mostly even high boards, when you're playing something like Ash and Malzahar, you just want to remind them, hey, I see you at
有冇咁嘅可能啊？
you're gonna, even if you're peeking
撳到出年咯。
basically means that Sven now has to hide under the turret, which means WE can always push those waves faster and deeper in, and they can rotate for longer amounts of time.
Yeah, and we keep talking about all the things WE can do, but there's very little they are doing right now. It's 1.8 thousand gold after taking down both side lanes and having a double TP composition with Kled and Cassin. Where's the charge from Kled?
卡有 animation 真係唔捨得拆。
pulled off any of these plays. WE
多又唔係特別多。
that turns on at 35 minutes and is the Elder Drake team. But if you do that with a 2,000 gold lead, like
又可以拆
this G2 composition, you're gonna lose. So Team WE has to make
喺個
something
logic 上。
happen.
有其實你啲卡都係喺度㗎，你
Despite all the good things they have in place, it's how they execute upon that that we'll have to look for. 140.
Okay, I'm happy with
So that
Tyler.
might be another place where W can say, all right, let's just force a 5-5 because that is something they know as well. But if this game is in
呢
this
次搞到佢好撚多變咁樣。
Yeah, good subtlety here from Dirks here as his G2 bot lane is basing and basically leaving mid exposed. He moves to mid, clears the wave out, goes back, and they're just stalling all over.
She at level 11, pretty strong right now with the Rotovation ticking up, but they're going to have to go back. Probably an item to buy plus some wards to refill. The ability it's actually there for the Malzahar, so maybe that will get a bit more active. I mean, I feel like I haven't seen a single Malzahar all game, and you've got a Cog really farming a lane. Feels like WE have the tools, but just aren't quite using them yet.
Yeah, and to be fair, even though G2 does have this protect the cog composition, the way they've done the rest of their drafts is with 1-3-1 split pushers. So Shen, not easy for Kled to get the push on, and same with LeBlanc, especially one that has a QSS at this stage in the game. So that is one of their tools for trying to stall this out.
It's not as simple as just making one play. It's essentially picking a lock. They need to make the right moves 3 or 4 times in a row for that lock to open. It could be burning the teleports on the side lane, burning the channels, and then returning for another dive right there. But it's so meticulously slow, and G2, this is their style that they like. Open map, side lanes, not too much hard engage.
你冇執完先問呢個問題。
They've been training for the majority of the season in Europe as well.
And I really like how they've moved Sven to the mid lane. It's the most secure spot on the map. They can shrink
對
it as much
試
as
下先
possible.
知嘅。
And as long as Expect keeps this push on 957, the Claymore isn't going to be coming into
九
time.
格夢
And it's also one of the reasons we were talking in champs like, you know, we see LeBlanc here scary, no Syndra, no Ori, because you think, why don't they know Orianna shield
Season
to
2
protect the Kog'Maw?
終於翻
Well,
嚟啦。
Orianna doesn't play well in side lanes. LeBlanc does it much better, and that is actually
耐熱呢喎，你係
helping
你
them
係
right now.
你係俾心機打嗰啲嚟㗎。
C3 嘅喎。
屌你真係好撚俾心機喎。
Moving forward with the Riftwalk as Muthi is low. Spect actually trying to know it is Muthi. Has Skull dismounts. Condi takes out Trick finally as WE get themselves a kill. And that's a play they're all waiting for.
Yeah, and G2 actually broke from their
Oh,
pattern.
some
I don't know
person that
why
hold
they
that
walked
game.
towards the Rift Herald, but as soon as they left the safety of that mid lane oasis, they were just completely collapsed on by WE.
Way too much solo queue. I was a new Herald on the patch. No, that's honestly the only plausible explanation you could muster, because they were just so fine scaling up. It's not even close to Baron spawn, so there's no reason to contest that vision 3 minutes ahead of time. I think they just felt too comfortable in this kind of status quo that WE created, but major blunder here. And Sven could have easily died in that fight. Xie could have leapt over and found him across the wall, but he went for the team fight.
Incredibly perplexing, and Sven now not in his turret, opening up towards the Kled side of the map. Instantly 957 comes in with the Kled ultimate, and Ben finds the person he wanted to with his ultimate, so it doesn't matter if Perks has the QSS. He was off at the bottom lane, teleports in too late, but everyone on G2 is trying to run as far as possible.
Right there, Xie takes a left, finds Sven takes him down.
take a break.
So the zero depth is still up for Sven. It'll be much harder in the future because a bit more gold on WE and an Infernal.
Yep, like I said, WE do pick it up during that replay. Blue buff now going to go over to G8 as well. Things just kind of still building up for G2. Perks still needs that first major damage out of him. Gunblade not done just yet with that early QSS. Blade Ninja Turbine is done for Sven, so that's a good look for him, but Perks will caught, doesn't have his QSS, it's going back out of the way. Now looking for this turret here, good 3-man by G2 trying to break up on the map a little more.
Yeah, they're losing the individual matchups, I think, right now, and that's why they're trying to just go for third phase. Because if you put this Kassadin, look at the items. Negatron murked that Kassadin through a block lane. He's going to win that one-to-one super hard and eventually leave that lane and join the mid lane party. So G2 trying to change it up.
Oh, back to Armor looking good there.
Kog'Maw struggled.
Let's finally take it.
Here they come, teleport mid.
Aggressive TP, Condi actually on the turret. WE, sorry, he's going to look to take it down. Arrow actually going as well. Tries up, but not used. Arrow missed is probably the reason why, but it's a good collapse, and they're still going.
Yeah, it's very difficult for G2 to stop them right now. They don't necessarily have the way clear options.
Second turret does hold for now. Turret says bye-bye.
好似
W2 again.
Yeah.
再加其他，又係加埋一齊，加埋一齊就得獎。係啊
Scale them up slower, then obviously
係啊，但係唔 key 啊嘛，咁肥做乜撚啊？
Animator 都夠啦，Animator 拆一張係2500啊嘛，合一張Legend 係3000。
但係如果全部合晒嘅，我連金都冇齊合過，即係如果合3張 key 出嚟嘅話。 Oh, have something key legend. 少你啦。
但係佢夠肥仔水啦嘛。
肥仔一定肥嘅。
Redemption, possibly Ardent Sensor,
Oh.
but that's a
講到抄得你咪可以玩啲咩咧？
Nunu build very much is the damage auto attack
Yeah.
that WE has, so he's obviously going to go back. So a little bit later of a turn on with the support right.
Yeah, maybe Frozen Heart into negative flow or a little bit of MR right there, and then you just pivot, and I think you go for Knight's Vow.
Yeah, I think Knight's Vow very early on Trick or Expect even. We saw yesterday they're very willing to go 2 Knight's Vows. That's a very strong item
เป็น條檔。
in the game right now.
Yeah. No AP top laners, no banner to kind of save your map that way. So obviously Kled is going to tear through that one.
So-
It's going to likely be Locket's
佢
Lord this
佢
game.
嗰張
But look at this, Team WE biding their time in
neutral
tempo. They
佢
know
都
that
時
G2
我
still
啱
doesn't have a
我
team
啱啱查
fight
撚
presence.
咗。
They're actually threatening Baron at 21 minutes
啦，
into the game.
打幾
Which I think is quite smart.
因為你都唔知對面做咩。
Gotta do it well though.
呢張成日入嘅呢張，
If you
Need to
only
do-
have 2 wards, you're definitely
you
not
want
in
control
right
that.
there.
Definitely
never should do it in the. You can do it in the pit if you have wards to spare, but a single sweep in the pit usually.
俾3個轉發點喎。
You're fine, but they're still launching.
但我炒緊嗰條。全部收分。
真係聽過 URD 嗰種。係咪？433而家天個輕嗰張。就之前佢長嗰張44啊，你唔好撳啦。
In that pattern. Yeah, everyone gets the move speed. G2 thinking about harassing this Baron, but that would be a big mistake.
WE instead getting around Shia, Rip walks forward to try and get him off. Scar gonna
唔係話佢係龍咯，你話佢係 SWOT。包河咯。斬我不到。
But then in 1 or 2 seconds, everybody's there.
Moving up to clear the ward, and Trick does take the charge from Flash, but it's not nearly enough. It's still rank 1 Wild Wolf, a level 10 Cogmog. Heal expended, but not even close. Ben realizes he can't even be that close.
Now, take it to the win!
One more piece coming much earlier as well. Getting led off.
Oh, get denied!
Works. Buy time. Buy time.
12條佢哋。
Going out. Flash is still having some fun, just throws back in. I think Shia's going to maybe try and chase him down. Good save. Ben flashes over.
Ben don't mess around. He ain't got time for that. He has the Baron buff. He wants to push. Like, stop these shenanigans. I want to back him.
Yeah, Perks is doing his best to try and keep the minion wave out. Actually, when the Baron went down, Perks used to teleport to get to that bot lane. Definitely probably shouldn't have died right there. Clear the minions, get out of there, and try and defend his 5, because that's exactly all G2 has left. WE extended this lead, picked up an early 20-minute Baron, really trying to punish now.
Should be able to do a lot of damage here. No Lich Bane only because Shia went Abyssal second instead, but Kled with the teammate plus the Black Cleaver will be on the sideline turrets, and of course Baron makes this almost trivial.
Yeah, and Cogmog can't actually kill these minions very quickly. Even with his W1, they have so much resistance to magic damage there that wave clear is really difficult for G2.
I mean, doesn't even have a Runas yet, so it's extra hard right now. Shia going to take down that T2 turret, make it 5 for WE. 957 working on the last one there in top lane. They have such a massive lead right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a big mental blow for the G2 Esports lineup. They felt so good after yesterday, progressing throughout the day, you know, great long game versus SKT. They felt good about the win, but we're seeing kind of the same thing we saw yesterday. Early game deficits that shouldn't really happen. Composition being punished, very much so. Like if WE can actually push the dagger through right now, they can easily exactly and how deep does the dagger have to go before G2 falls over? It's 8,000 gold. It's a pretty deep cut right now for G2. Sven does have his Hurricane, but it might not even be about that at this point, because the amount of damage they can do there, and being at a full threat, there's a full Phantom Dancer ahead of Cogmog, so yeah, you throw the Lulu and the Blood Boil onto Sven, and that makes him as strong as Mystic. Then you got everyone else to worry about. Everybody else is the problem, because in terms of shot calling and target selection, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who you got to hit on G2 Esports lineup. Because Perks, he's a novelty.
Let's speed things up.
You assess Gunblade for block, he's not doing much, jumping in, doing some damage. G2 will need to be very precise in their engage. They don't have much time.
You want to put a value on it. I think it's about 2,500 gold ahead of Sven right now. So the completed items, we can see the inventory looks like a catch on the GA. Maybe Cassidy really hard to pin down. Could make it happen. Riphook again. Absolute Zero going to get cancelled as there's Sven. He's going to move away and Shea. Getting himself out. Almost gets over the wall. Flush snowball from Trick as the base is just getting destroyed. Why are you chasing a Cassidy? GA finally going to get taken down, but the Spelltron's going to keep him alive even longer. Turret down in top lane. It's just the base getting pushed in. And now GA just wants to cancel back. Top in hit goes down. G2. Oh, so desperate. There's the touch in. Sven again gets taken. There's another ult. He's absolutely dead to Condy. So much physical damage in the top half of the map. And it's just fallen to pieces for G2.
You got to be able to avoid that Ash Arrow even in that situation. They're chasing the Caston because they figured they'd lose the inhibitor anyway and are trying to get a kill. So WE make the most of it right there. Shea lasts all the entire game pretty much, and then Sven does end up falling anyway.
Yeah, but even though it makes sense, it just goes down in such a comedic way.
Oh my goodness.
That is just
Who do we chase? The guy with the 2-second cooldown.
Rift walks galore, and then they got him now. I wonder if this is gonna play far.
957.
Yeah, in the way you lose this though, in the way that play goes down, I wonder if
哇！你睇到立
the
近嘅
themes that are going to come down from this are actually going to hurt you at least more. Yeah.
喂，同埋我覺得起手我一定唔會立咗5
In a
分。
straight line, that's not
Come on,
this venue
come on.
saw yesterday. Yes, the team is falling apart around it, but
Vẫn
you
hữu
have
dụng
to be
cả.
able to flash away from
好
that.
用係好用，你等，但係你下一張卡可以等到5分。
你打3，
係咯，你都打
3
3
嚟㗎嘛？你咁快揸住佢，4都可能會留一留，咁就唔會留。如果起手嘅話。
記住係你先攻先留。
係啊。
最差唔多3比1。
GA survived the matchup, invested early in MR. Robert Aegis, he went equal to first, was super happy with himself. Success.
唔該你起手。
Matches decided. They just snowballed the
等
lead.
緊插定，之後玩夠啦。
攞嚿個 account 嚟孖
新舊都可以玩嘢㗎。
3萬股好難啊！佢哋爭2個先解到場啊！
我自己講。
Potentially kill the Nexus turrets first, but they have 20 more seconds to secure that
你
penta.
有 range 上有 mid range 嘅耐性，如果你嘅 mid range，
你根本係鳩砌出嚟，關咩事？
And what a way. Honestly, WE from the get-go, they see a one-dimensional composition. A game, I'm not going to say decided by an early red buff, but a very influential factor. But we can't blame that because every single step afterwards was taken well by WE.
Exactly. WE had to respond to the support bans in the draft. Ben's Malzahar was completely fine. Condi, the star player of this team, took over the early game, securing the red buff away from Trick, moving bottom lane, getting control of that, moving top lane, getting control of that. And even though it took 28 minutes, that felt long. It was still only 28 minutes and they won by a lot.
Yeah, and if you look at the pick and ban again, we're talking support bans versus jungle. That in itself, usually, you know, you would think that the jungle gets punished more. And then if you look at the type of players here, banning junglers against Trick, get called the star player almost from the head as opposed to punishing bans.
I do want to re-emphasize just kind of the pacing here for WE. You almost thought as that early mid-game elongated,
抽到兩張唔死，
mistake.
只有
But
咩
when
用
they？ needed to be decisive and they saw the opportunities, they took them very well, and then the pace just picked up from there.
Yeah, they were very good at reacting to G2 whenever G2 stepped out of line. Because I actually feel like G2 had a very good thing going, camping Kog'Maw under the mid lane turret and playing the side lanes. But as soon as they moved that Rip Herald, as soon as he was in the jungle, immediately W Evo Deeds and
Definitely agree that was the one turning point in the mid game. Already established here, but really great job from W opening up these turrets early on the side lanes. We saw the reaction though from D2. They like playing on this open map, you know, with the teleport. At one point, one damage turn just is enough on your mind.
Well, certainly rough there. For a deep dive into that game, let's check back in with the analyst.
What are you hiding inside?
Thank you very much. Pastry time. G2 putting all of their eggs in the spin basket after the success they found yesterday with the Caitlyn comp. But Team WE taking it straight to them in the early game, smacking them around a little bit, and then a nice dominant finish to put it all to rest. I mean, so we saw, again, a more aggressive look here for Team WE in the face of a Kog'Maw Nunu composition of all things from G2. What are our thoughts about this champs leg?
First of all, in the champs leg, I think WE did well to prep. They were expecting this. They were not caught off guard at all. They had many forms of hard engage to try and get back to that back line, take out the Kog'Maw, and they
That's a big thing for me, the fact that they were able to reach that back line, that they saw reacted appropriately. And I like the fact that they still have the confidence for Ben on that Malzahar. Again, it seems so off-putting. Malzahar is not great on this patch, not great to Lulu. You know, she's able to clear out those voids so easily, but you can see that he wasn't bothered in lane, that he continued to be an asset in setting up those team fights.
But you could also see that G2 tried to plug and play Nunu for something like an Irony, the supportive jungler. A lot of other supports gone here. And you really weren't convinced by Trick on the Nunu, some of his pathing, losing out on the smite battle, on the red buff as well. Those little things when it's Nunu, a champion before
Kobe is having such a tough time over there, shaking his
No
head.
excuses for that Nunu play. No excuses at all. Especially when you're going up against Graves. Like DPS champions like that are a bit scary for Nunu because they can just continually throw DPS into Nunu and there's no threat going to come for him. So you do have to be careful in your early game. And again, this team, backed up.
What are you hiding inside?
Now, all this said, it's not like Team W played a perfect game. I want to take a look at an early game replay here, going into a turret dive here in the bot lane. They'll net 2 kills for G2 with the Shen coming in.
They did this exact same thing against TSM as well. It just comes to this moment where they can play top lane and they just kind of forget that the top laner exists. Like, hello, that's a Shen. He's gonna beat you to the teleport. And suddenly Team WE looks like they're playing Mario Kart. Like they're swerving all over this jungle.
有運動我賺100蚊，你有帶未？
But they forgot that Shen has a second one attached to his kit. So G2, they get the better of him in that regard. But we see how long it takes for G2 to ramp up to it. And as Trepo said, a 1 damage strike pump when you're behind, it doesn't spell very good things for you, especially when you're getting caught by arrows. And that's where our second replay is going to come up from. An Acer replay. This is arrows. TWE capitalizing on this position.
And again, it's a great engagement. Walked up to kill a ward.
就走主教，就走主教咁撚機。
Actually probably misclicked on the trick.
順係咯，
好撚黐線。
You can understand why
順係好撚柒勁，係真係好撚柒勁。
其實以佢打3呢個 system 嚟講，佢真係好少可以打得。同埋佢好撚多手可以喺 dead 度自己。
Yeah, this is something that they do back in the LPL. Again, it's kind of that long hiatus. They start.
佢直接清 count down 嘅話先可夠啊！
As soon as a single toe goes over the line, they will slam down on top of it. I thought the captain did a great job, addressing that during game.
咁你一定有呢啲咁撚屈嘅卡先噏得起佢。本身個 system 就麻
好難屈機咧，但係。佢蝕喎。
Yes, has wave clear, but it feels unsafe having to distort in for that. Why not pick some more options to actually stall out the game as opposed to as soon as we get behind, we have no choice but to accept the push that you're throwing at.
I mean, ultimately, I see what you're saying, and I do agree with you to an extent, but they also play like a 1-3-1 easily with this composition because they can bounce around so easily with lane assignments. Like you have the LeBlanc, you have the Shen, even if they don't get the push advantage, they can, either throw the lane and the LeBlanc can disappear, or Shen can just absorb all this farm. You have Lulu to sit with Kog'Maw and just kind of babysit. So there were options there. But even though Team WE also did a rather poor job with their own lane assignments, it wasn't enough to kind of stall out Kog'Maw for his big breaking point.
係你黑松血多啫。呢度都廿滴血。
唔係啊，問題佢呢度好撚少直接打嘅。黑松你可以下掉啲魔法卡落
你玩你依家玩room character 一樣，都可以直接玩科級派嘅，都係一影翻落嚟。
冇得打面喎，全部打手。
我見好多 OTP 都係負啊，如果嘅話，
我見好多淨係打手啊。
打就係土牛啫，係玩飛啫。
因為我冇見過佢打面嘅魔法卡可以 step， 可以 step 嘅話就太撚癲咯。
陣間睇下刷隻網。 而家我睇
黐緊線，佢 set 到10攻啫，一日打到你。
大家都燒緊卡位度，依家冇緊排差異。你等我一場，我解你一場。
中速 shadow 嘅最撚大缺點就係冇清場。 你俾對面波鋪場，你就即刻行。
Shadow 嘅賣點就係冇乜清場，係 Shadow 共同嘅弊病嚟嘅呢個係。
Shadow 嘅賣點就係鋪場，
但係佢冇能力清場啊嘛！你全部 Shadow 都冇呢個能力。
好撚機啊啲玩意！哇！啲撚都戇鳩屌！
嗰陣時你其實如果你知佢有咩卡嘅話，就易打好多。
個重點係佢仲 lead 緊你排差，唔係你 lead 緊佢排差，係你站。
嗰陣時嗰排差係睇你哋對面隻有冇 AOE 噶嘛。
冇。主教有 AOE 咩？主教
好撚多 AOE， 唔係好撚多嘅。
未見過。
嗰隻巴克出嚟冇得打人。
主教最威都係 banish 嘅啫喎，我覺得。
主教最威就係 banish 呢個真係。
煩到撲街。
副回血主教唔知乜鳩嘢。
佢咪等你耗晒所有可以用嘅戰力咯。你有冇高分大怪嘅？
個打得啦，個打得啦。
個問題係佢都好似冇高分大怪喎。
佢冇啊。
咁佢個主軸係咩？我哋10個都揼得出嚟咯。
佢又冇得 evolve，我唔知佢點打。
佢可能有嗰張紙乜嘢啦，4之後可以。
哇！呢張真係好 Q 麻煩。
佢個分掉嚟㗎嘛？
點解照呢隻狗出嚟？狗
係唔係？所以老虎係 friend 派㗎，
回血主教好難分呢個真係。
咁你抌咗呢張卡出嚟贏，
成日贏呢張，
佢都算陰功喎。我贏係唔需要贏呢張嘅喎，如果要贏嘅話。
呢張配合 Emikoco 嗰啲加埋2科，一張打10幾喎，
啱你個排風咯，但係唔係我。
我嗰賺100。
我已經 off 咗啦，你收皮啦。
一個打咗。
聽日再會啦。咁急做乜嘢咧？我哋都過咗12點。
有關係。
但係 ego 上啲。
根本就係你呢邊交齊。
靚抽係爽嘅，但係柒抽嗰陣時真係行唔出嚟。
G2 輕鬆輸咗咯，咁快輸人咗。
輸咗啦，我睇下。
快咗少少。
即係一到時做用，將第一日變質紙。
Welcome back, everyone, to MSI 2017 live from Rio. I am joined by Mystic, the AD carry for Team WE after a victory over G2 in a first round. Well, that game as G2 crafted a very protect the AD carry composition. What was your strategy and your goals in that game to win it?
G2 팀이 매우 원딜지키 조합을 가지고 나왔는데 그 조합을 깨기 위해서 어떤 전략을 준비했고 어떻게 승리를 하게 되었는지 말씀해주세요.
冇咁多 cost 俾佢
1分喎張，你只要留到隻1喺場嘅話就賺2張卡。
바텀 위주로 게임 풀어 나가면서 상대 포머를 좀 말리고 시작해서 괜찮았던 것 같아요.
We thought that if this game went to late game, Kog'Maw will be really farmed and it'd be hard to beat that composition. So we focused our early game in harassing their bot lane and Kog'Maw, and I think that resulted in our win.
That it did, and you guys are doing quite well so far here at MSI. And when it comes to LPL representatives, everybody knows about RNG, everybody knows about EDG, but who is Team WE? What is your style?
그 이제 지금 현재까지 WE 팀은 매우 좋은 성적을 거두고 있지만 사실은 이제 LPL 팀이 국제대회에 출전하게 되면 보통 사람들은 EDG랑 RNG를 생각하게 되는데 WE 팀에 대해서는 어떤 팀인지 간단히 소개해 주세요.
저희 팀이 이렇게 성적이 항상 상위권이었지만 이렇게 국제대회에 나오게 된 거는 거의 처음인데 저희도 EDG, RNG 못지않게 강한 팀이라고 생각해요.
Even though we've been playing decent and pretty well in LPL, it's been a long time since we came back to the international stage. but I would like to say our team is as good as
二一定係 Shadow 嗰張
Things
㗎
to。come. Thank you very much, Mystic, and thank you,
Shadow
Roman, as well. And now
3張
back over to you guys for the match intro.
Thank you very much, Shocks. Hello, everyone. I am bringing the business in the third and taking over the caster desk to help here with the group stages. Chris Papa Smith and Isaac Azale.
自己 Storm 嗰張
Gentlemen, feels good to be up here.
如果 Echo 嘅話，我
To
打
dabble
一
a
隻
little bit. These games are going fast. I think we're still going some action.
I'm out of the frying pan, into the fryer, facing the fish show on the analyst desk, but now for the cast, and I'm excited for this one, even though both these teams, you have to feel like hype train for Flash Wolves, even with a victory, it's kind of gone at this point in TSM, because like both of them are battling for relevancy, and both of them battling to be in the top 4.
As Pop Smithy said, we're getting into game 4 here. Rio as Flash Wolves faces off TSM to look for a better spot here in the group stage. Dale, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, these teams and these games in general have been so hard to predict besides SKT. Everyone seems like they're making a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of nerves. There's been draft problems. And, you know, TSM certainly fell victim to that, I think, earlier in the day. You know, kind of counter-picking themselves against SKT.
And then, but the Flash Wolves, they're on the board. They gotta win, but I know that even though I predicted they would win, they won. But the manner at which they picked up the win, I wasn't convinced. You know, they were fighting from behind. They are also a team who are guilty of counterpicking themselves just yesterday. So both these teams on the Rift and off the Rift when it comes to pick and ban and in-game have been wavering. So that's why if you lose this one, it's very hard to think you'll actually get that top 4 spot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, TSM are trying to bounce back from that loss earlier against SKT. You don't expect them necessarily to win that game, but the manner in which they lost definitely leaves a little bit to be desired for TSM and NA fans.
Absolutely, but that manner in which they lost is kind of a glaring one, right? They can pinpoint it, say, let's not, one, come out of champion select as we did, and two, not be as risky when we're behind in the jungle.
And the interesting thing to me about TSM's pick ban throughout the tournament is, you know, game 1, they go for a Protect Wild Turtle comp. A lot of people questioning that, thinking that's not really the way to go for a team whose strength has been their solo lanes. Then this, you know, last draft against SKT, is that striving too much for comfort picks instead of actually good matchups? You know, not only are you giving over very powerful picks, you're putting yourself in tough matchups. And I think we need to see TSM put themselves in a position to win by giving their solo lanes good matchups and playing around.
Hop into picks and bans. We'll see what kind of solo lanes they can provide for each other. What the junglers will be ganking in those lanes. Kennan's going to be the first one. Van Haunter putting a little bit of an impact on that there in day 1.
It's one that MMD doesn't play as well. So banning it on blue side, given the power, is surprising. And also a ban towards Sven Skaren on the Ivern. Just champs that Flash Wolves just don't see very much.
I also think the Ivern ban is extremely smart when you are first pick, like Flash Wolves is this time around, because the 2 champions that Sven has been looking pretty good on is Ivern and LeeSin. They're happy to take the LeeSin for Karsa as that first pick, so it puts TSM in a situation where they either now have to ban it or just deal with that trade.
Something like LeeSin also will be super high priority for both these junglers, even though we've been seeing it fall through drafts. Karma also another one sticking his nose out. It's surprising to see a Jace ban on blue side here, given that the Jace priority was a little bit of top lane Jace, no mid lane Jace, so a bit of a fishy one.